seems like the more Harper's being backed into a corner over the torture issue, the more he acts like a dictator, which for him is really saying a lot. Peaceful protest groups are labeled radicals, journalists exposing hard right-wing agendas are called religiously intolerant, talk about the pot calling the kettle, and if even a member of Harper's cabinet is becoming a problem, they'll just throw her under the train. Consider the case of Helena Georges, the former minister for the status of women. Pause for irony. Now, don't misunderstand, there's a lot about her to not like her questionable self-promotion and qualifications, and leaking national security secrets like the details of Stefan Dion's Afghanistan trip, not to mention her husband's association with con artists and managing to walk away from drug possession charges for reasons unknown. However, she recently got fired and had the RCMP sicked on her by Harper because of some really shady allegations dug up by an equally shady private eye. I can't say much more than that, because quite frankly the Canadian public has never been officially told what Georges has been accused of. Allegedly, neither is she, which, if true, is a huge violation of her constitutional rights. Oh yeah, I just remembered what Prime Minister I'm talking about, sorry. All of the public has been told are second-hand rumors of Georges tagging along when her husband was doing drugs or seeing hookers or giving government contracts to people that most of us wouldn't let into our own homes. However, there's never been any official word about this from anyone, and even the PI who was asked by the Tories to watch her acknowledges that he has no evidence that she did anything illegal. Has she been unethical and a political weak spot for the Harper government? Definitely. Has she been a criminal? By all accounts, no. But she has still had the federal police turn her life upside down, and if she is to be believed, she has never been told why. This is a right guaranteed by law to everyone accused of a crime, but apparently Stephen Harper doesn't agree. On another front, a book has been published last week by Marcy MacDonald called The Armageddon Factor, The Rise of Christian Nationalism in Canada. Now, this book doesn't really reveal anything new to anyone who actually follows the news. It notices that not only is Harper very devoutly Christian, but is closely tied to numerous conservative Christian groups like Focus on the Family and the Canadian Family Action Coalition. Some of the members of these groups are unelected advisors to the Prime Minister, and some of them are cabinet ministers who were only in Parliament in the first place because other MPs were bought off. Either way, they are in one of the highest offices in the country and have publicly stated that their mission is to impose right-wing Christian laws on our liberal secular nation. All you have to do is visit the websites of these groups, by the way, or read articles by their members to hear that. If you combine that with the very zealous and intolerant things their supporters say on blogs, news websites, and chat rooms, it's not a secret that they want to remove equal rights for gays and lesbians, women, Muslims, atheists, pagans, and even liberals in general. Yet to hear the Conservative Party talk about it, pointing all of this out is the same as attacking somebody for just being Christian. This, I remind you, is coming from the same government whose Prime Minister flat out said that he only cares about God's judgment of him, and was caught on camera boasting about making life harder for gays, women, and atheists who are trying to defend their rights. This is also coming from the same party whose members are infamous for making homophobic, racist, and sexist remarks, and whose most vocal supporter recently took protesting abortion to the level of Holocaust denial. Then again, this is also the same party whose MPs have occasionally written columns saying that journalists who disagree with Emperor Harper should be jailed. But most disturbing of all is their recent proclamations in the media that a small Facebook group called Canadians Rallying to Unseat Stephen Harper is a radical mob. For the record, I'm a part of this group, and its goal has always been to get Harper voted out in the next election, though at the rate we're going, it's a wonder if we're even going to have one. Canada, please take a look at what's going on and stand up for yourself. Our government not only thinks that it is way above the law, but it has actually reached the point where exercising our freedom of speech is considered an act of terrorism. What the fuck has happened to us? It reminds me of an old saying. First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out, because I am not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out, because I am not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out, because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. If I have anything to say about it, that's not it for me.